Hey, Daryl the Clerk from East Hill Community Church in beautiful Vernon, BC. I'm here at Vernon Secondary School where our daughter Shiloh goes, and what you can see behind me here is the school, but the roadway that we all come down to drop our kids off. It's a one-way street. It's an efficient way to get your kids in and out of school. So you come off of 18th Street, hug and kiss your teenager, and then pull off over this way. Back behind me onto 18th Street. And okay, maybe the hugging and kissing doesn't quite happen as much by high school, but well, anyway, maybe we wish it would. Well, hey, around this exit that you can see right behind me is where I saw a young man who had walked down the sidewalk looking for something. He had his head down, he was pacing back and forth, wondering where something was. So I rolled down my window and asked, hey, what's going on? Oh, he said my friend cuffed me on the side of the head and my AirPod flew out. And for those of you who are uninitiated, this is an AirPod where you put it in your ear. It's wireless earbuds. And so he said that he lost it in the snow. And so a white AirPod in the snow, how is he going to find it? I said, well, you can get to class, no problem. Why don't I take a look for it? And if I find it, I'll bring it to the office. He said, sure. So what do you say? Let's go look for it. All right, here we are. Gonna try to find where this is. Gotta admit, it's like trying to pick a needle out of a haystack here. But you know, all this reminds me of a parable Jesus told, because in Luke 15, we have 3 stories of people losing things. A lost sheep, a lost coin, and a lost son. Otherwise known as the prodigal son, of course. And there's a recurring pattern here in these stories. I mean, something is lost and then found, and then there's rejoicing. I mean, and not just personal rejoicing, but the one who finds his sheep, quote, calls his friends and neighbors together and says, rejoice with me, I've found my lost sheep. And the woman who finds the coin also calls her friends and neighbors together and says, rejoice with me, I've found my lost coin. And as you may know, the father of the prodigal son throws a big feast for his son's return. And did you know there's actually another pattern in those 3 stories? In the first one, the farmer loses 1 sheep out of 100. In the second, the woman loses 1 coin out of 10. And in the last story, of course, 1 son of 2 goes off the rails. And so if you pull that pattern beyond the 3 stories to yourself, we see that you matter so much to God, as if you were the only one he had. Okay. And there it is. Well, hey, let's go bring that on in and help somebody celebrate privately, but why don't we go and celebrate publicly, in the sense of course, we can't gather together now or throw a big old party. But why don't we celebrate publicly by posting some of the stories that you've experienced of random acts of kindness? Maybe you've done something lately, or maybe you will do something lately with this inspiration. Maybe you've had something done to you. Let's hear about it. And not to brag, of course, but to publicly celebrate God's amazing grace to find you, and that each of us matters so much to God that he went through sending his only son for you. See you next week.